Hey, what's up YouTube? Balder here, and I'm playing some more DCS World. This time I am in the SU-27, and wow. First off, I'd like to say, that was one hell of a Super Bowl. Granted, I am pretty disappointed. I was rooting for the Seahawks, but it was epic nonetheless. So, anyway, why am I in the SU-27? I don't think I've ever recorded myself in this plane before. Granted, I'm more of a MiG-29 fan because it has fire and forget missiles, but at the same time, the SU-27 is a really good fighter. It was pretty much a plane that was created to combat the F-15. It is very maneuverable, and you can always win a turn battle with this plane. One thing that it does have that to its disadvantage are its missiles. None of them are active radar missiles. You do have fire and forget heat-seeking missiles, but they don't have nearly the range as what you'd find with an AIM-120. However, the SU-27 actually combats that with, well, a very interesting type of design. If you'll notice in the center column, there are, well, several yellow lights. Each of those stand for a pylon of weapons. This is pretty much a weapons-heavy fighter jet, and for a very good reason as well. Think about it this way, and by the way, I'm actually doing post-recording commentary. I did commentary, but I forgot to record my voice. But anyway, back to the weapons. The reason why the SU-27 has so many missile pylons is, well, for a design to actually combat the BVR capabilities of the F-15. One of them being is that each time you fire a missile, you're going to have a chance of hitting the target. Usually, it's going to be about 60 to 70% chance of hitting a target. And of course, the chances go up as you get closer. But let's say far away, yeah, definitely 60%. So definitely not really good odds. However, when this does happen, you're going to have an aircraft, the enemy aircraft, try to evade it. And even if he does, well, then the SU-27 can fire another missile, and he can keep doing it. And there are enough missiles on this plane to pretty much guarantee a near 100% kill rate. So you do not want to fight BVR against the SU-27. And I'll put a link in the description to some guys who know a lot more about this stuff than I do. But anyway, we have taken off, and this is actually a mission, or a campaign, that you have to buy in order to play. Don't ask me why this plane is, well, or why this campaign is pay to play, but it pretty much is. And I couldn't really tell you why, but it's called The Ultimate Argument. I'll also put a link there. So, I'm pretty much doing a combat air patrol in my first mission, so that's definitely a bonus. You'll notice around that town, I'm centered around it because I was looking at the smoke, and you'll start noticing a bunch of small explosions as well. So apparently, that town is under attack, and that's actually my waypoint marker. And I'm not sure if I'm going to speed this up, but more or less, I'm doing the combat air patrol by going up and down the valley, just seeing what I can do. But yeah, this is actually a mission that I really liked, because most campaigns make you do a familiarization flight, and those tongue-tied. Those familiarization flights are very boring, I guess is the best way to put it, because they just suck ass. I mean, you don't fight anyone, you just fly around, and hopefully you're good at navigation, because otherwise you're royally screwed. So, it's pretty hard to get into campaigns with all these fam flights, but it is possible, it is doable, Thankfully, this one doesn't have any of that crap. It would be absolutely terrible if we did, but, you know, is what it is, and at the same time, well, you'll see. It does get kind of hairy, but I do something that I'm kind of kicking myself in the head for, because I feel kind of ashamed to admit it, but I had to resort to a little bit of dumbing down of the difficulties to actually get through this mission. This is actually the first time I ever played this mission. I have no idea what it was like. I decided to get it, and as a result, things just became a little weird. Unfortunately, I didn't record, but you'll see what I mean when things get really weird. So, for the past few minutes, I was actually, I was definitely recording it, but I was flying up and down this valley, checking to see where anything is. And I've been switching periodically between the nav aid and the radar. This is just telling you pretty much the rules of engagement. That makes quite a bit of sense. But now we're moving into, well, the part where I actually find the bandits. I've been given authorization to shoot down any Georgian plane. However, I can't go very far because they have a bunch of SAMs and they will blow me out of the sky if I do. So, all of a sudden, I get a blip on the radar. I have no idea what they are. I'm assuming, or I know they're SU-25s, but that was kind of my first guess. It's like, what could it be? It must be something easy. But I found a lock-on, and I started approaching it. However, I couldn't go too far, so what I did is that I started to do some, I guess, pseudo S-turn maneuvers, just to hold a lock onto these guys, but at the same time, I kept them in range, and I kept turning just to make sure that I didn't go too far into Georgian airspace, because those guys, easy. SAMs, not so much. But approaching these guys, they get closer and closer into range, and it'll take a little bit of time to get there. Yeah, I just keep them within visual range. I do not want to lose track of these airplanes. That would be really bad. Of course, this guy already knows that he has a plane locked onto him. He's been spiked. He knows what's going on. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to do much. So, I think this is when I fire off the missiles, or I get very close to it. Yeah, right now I'm actually looking through a small screen in Sony Vegas. I'll actually see if I can increase the size of that thing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you guys have no idea what I'm actually looking at, so... Alright, so I fired off one missile, and that thing did not look like it was going anywhere near, so I decided to fire off another missile. And this guy's just telling me that I need to take these guys out. So I fired another missile, but at the same time, the other missile ended up hitting, and that was a splash. A later confirmed splash. There we go. Aircraft destroyed. Alright. So moving on to the next plane. I find him right there. Have a little radar lock on him, and I launch a missile at him. Simple enough, right? This one, I didn't fire off two missiles. I'm just going to see if it hit, and this is when things start to get weird. So that guy is officially down and out. And so I move down to avoid because I'm getting spiked by a SAM. Alright, this is where I started to freak out. It was like, wait a second, my wingman just got destroyed. What happened? So, I paused the game, looked around, I see the smoke in the background. And at this point, I kind of freaked out and was like, what am I going to do? Yeah, that guy didn't even get a chance to fire off a shot, but I think the AI is so bad that the Su-25 pilots are just multitudes better and are able to get on people's sixes easily, because in the A-10 missions, I've seen them take out F-18s as well, and those things are really good turn fighters. Alright, so this one is obviously the culprit. It's missing a missile, so he just took the guy out. Luckily, the guy ejected. And we have the other guy, but these guys definitely have the advantage over me right now. I have no idea where they are, so unfortunately, and I'm not proud of it, I decide to cheat. So I hit left shift F10, and that brings up the labels. Blue is the enemy. I know, everything that tends to be the enemy is always in red, but, you know, in DCS World, if you're on the Russian side, you are against the blue team. So I decided to turn my off-bore sight on, lock onto that guy, and then I'm firing my long-range infrared missiles. So, Fox 2 on that guy. And what I should have done is that I should have fired on the other guy as well, but that guy has been taken out. That guy is nowhere near close enough to be a threat, so I fire it on him, and then I wait for the results, and that guy's destroyed. So there we go. All 4 aircraft have been destroyed. The mission has been accomplished, and there's also another landing, but what can I say? So I was wondering if there are any more enemies, and those are the 2 Su-25s. Their wings have been blown off. They were completely annihilated. So I'm happy about that. And continuing on, I'm just going to exit out of the airspace, and that is pretty much it. But hey, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe. There are plenty more videos where that came from, so you have a nice day.